All right, I've welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, definitely a holiday hangover. So, markets here basically, in float mode, but pulling back a little bit. Spiders down 15 cents. Nothing really too crazy going on. Qs are actually green. Saw a nice dip buy in Nvidia, Microsoft, Google this morning. Even Tesla holding up a little bit there. So tech getting a little bit of a bit. IGV did go green after gapping down. So tech holding on there. I still think tech's a little extended here on the bigger time frames. If we take a look at the triple Qs here on the weekly. So again, that 20 MA is really all the way down at 330. And you're kind of into these pivots here. So I think if there's going to be another move up here in the markets in general, I think it's going to have to come from IWM, XLE, XLF, XLV, that type of thing here. And obviously kind of, overarching the spiders. So either way, markets are hanging in there. I talked about this Monday. I talked about this Friday. We're a little extended. Do need to cool off a little bit. You take a look at some of these like kind of oscillators. Look at the RSI on the hourly. It's cooling off, but I'd like to see that cool off a little bit more, maybe into tomorrow, and then maybe it can pump up on NFP on Friday. Look at the 4 hour here. You've got a pretty good divergence there. So you basically got a double top, equal high with a lower high in RSI. So I think you need to kind of work that off a little bit. But either way, markets are hanging in there. And again, like I said, it is very, very much like a holiday hangover. 44 million shares at 330. So there's nobody here. Just telling my members, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if, you look at, I said last week by Wednesday, they're going to be gone. Like, the big institutional traders are not going to be around. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't even come back till next Monday. Because really the only data we have is NFP, and it was ADP tomorrow and jobless claims. But, right now, maybe they do come back tomorrow, but right now they're definitely not back. So, again, there's not a lot of time off in this business. So when you can get kind of an extended long weekend like that, it doesn't happen often. It doesn't surprise me to see some people taking advantage of it, especially since we're in the summer doldrums kind of anyway. We do have CPI next week, so maybe they come back before then. Today, obviously, we had the Fed minutes. Doesn't look like we had the Fed minutes. You can tell here we had a little pop and a micro dip, and then kind of just came back up here. We're pinned to basically 44.50 on the SPX. That is where the gamma is today. So we're probably just going to sit right there until the close. So nothing really doing for the most part here. Fed minutes, though, for what it's worth, they did say, basically they reiterated at least 2 more hikes, and they see a mild recession. If mild recession is anything like inflation is transitory, then that's telling us it's probably going to be a much worse recession than that. But I do want to draw your attention to, this is the big thing right now. Not Bitcoin, but we'll talk about that. Yields here, 2-year, again, 4.95. So this is just flagging up for a move to 5%. You guys know my thought on that. We get above 5%, we get above this pivot, we'll be back above the Fed funds rate for the first time since March 13th. What happened on March 13th? Spiders bottomed, right? So that could be significant here, and we'll continue to watch that moving forward. To flip back over here, let's look at the 10. Well, we'll talk about the Qs and we'll get into the yields here. So let's get over here. So triple Qs here again. We talked about that already. Up 15 basis points. Still pretty extended though. If you do pull back, you'll have some support at this trend line there. Pretty steep trend line nonetheless. Again, still into a lot of weekly chart resistance right now. IWM, nothing terrible. So up move, pull back, basically went back into double top, and now we're hitting that 20-day moving average. So it's getting a little bit of a pop off of that. Again, light volume here, but this still should get to 192. So no problems there. Diamond here, again, consolidating beneath 345. You get through that, then it's up to double top there. So nothing really has changed. Semis here down 1.5%. AMD still soft, right? I talked about this. I tweeted this earlier. Down 1.25. There's your level. If you put it on a 4 hour, you can see it. Like all those pivots there. Red bar. 4 hour 50 MA, but more importantly, 20-day moving average breakdown area. Not a good candle, especially in light volume. You should see AMD hold up. Doesn't mean it can't, put in a higher low and then attack that, but that's a little bit of a rejection here. So just make note of that. Nvidia here still holding up, although it is coming off the highs. So, but semis overall, again, levels haven't changed. Back below the 20 moving average, you can go back down to 146 and then maybe 144. Above that, you can go test double top. So really that simple. IGV's hanging in there okay. It did gap down and took it really all day to turn green, but it's holding up for now. So we'll leave it at that. There's still some resistance here with this red bar and again this weekly level. So a pretty good level there, but it is consolidating. It's going to need to do more of that. Take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12, 13. You can count weeks of consolidation in this area. So it's going to take that kind of work to get through that. That's why I say tech is extended. It needs to do more. I mean, look at IGV, 20 MAs all the way down at 310. So just some things to consider here. But those are the levels. Dow Transports, again, we thought they would pull back today. They did. So down 0.5%. Good resistance level. Previous inside bar breakdown, 1, 2 hits. Now 3, you are overbought short term. So this should need to consolidate as well to get through that. But, it's had a nice pop here. So we'll respect it. Delta Airlines just continuing to power up here. This is going into some levels here that we haven't been since 2021. So very overbought here as well. But that is leading the charge, helping out the jets, helping out those transports. Anyways, all right, over to yields here again. So 10-year, take a look. Nice little trend line break there. Sometimes the third hit of the trend line can be a fake out, but you have put in a nice base here. Green bar, inside bar, and then a pop. So we'll see how it does going into the end of the week, into next week. Maybe CPI reverses it. Maybe CPI gives it juice. We'll see. But that is a nice look there on yields. And even if this does come back in, it's not going much lower. High yields are here to stay. Nice pop there for the 10-year. TYX getting a pop as well. Weekly, ascending triangle. Higher lows, equal highs. You break this area, it's going to 4.2 and then ultimately back up to new highs. So yields continuing to hold up. Again, I talked about the 2-year, but really the big line in the sand for the markets in general, for equity markets, is that 5%, that Fed funds rate. You get above that, that's when I think the market could actually respond, right? You'd think that a day like today, the market would be kind of freaking out a little bit. It cannot freak out as long as that Fed funds rate's above the 2-year. I keep saying that because it's that important. So just keep that on your radar. Let's cover HYG2. Very weak here, just not holding up well at all. A weekly, monthly bear flag type look. Definitely a bear flag look on the monthly. So again, nothing great there either. Anyways, over to housing. XHB backing off a little bit, down 0.75%. Again, went into that little level we talked about. Pivot high, and then you broke down from that area. So it is backing off a little bit. Nothing terrible, right? Let's not get too excited. But it is pulling back just a little bit here. ITB continuing down, was down Monday, down a little bit today, just under 1%, but no problems really. You got to get back below this green bar low before any real sort of downside can come into place at the very least. VNQ, what can you say? This is now a leader here, or at least in the short term. Let's not get too excited. But hey, you got a higher high now for the first time. Daily chart higher high. I mean, I guess you could count this one here, but we'll just, that was barely a higher high, even so that this is too. But if we confirm this higher high, let's say that. If we confirm this higher high, it'll be the first time since really, you got to go from here to there. Right here, back in December to January was the last time you had some type of a legitimate higher high. And you also have 3 higher lows there, so this could push higher. Again, like I said, XLI, IWM, XLF, XLE, you want to see those sectors. This is another sector that has been a laggard, for a long time, not just recently, but for a long time. It's barely off the October lows. So that's another sector that's going to need to get a bid, if this market is going to continue rallying. But, it is right now, and we'll respect it. I still don't love it on the weekly. I mean, this is still very weak. But it is getting a little bit of a short-term bid now, so we'll respect it. XLF, fractionally lower. Nothing's changed there. Still weekly bearish consolidation. KRE, same thing. KBE, same thing. These regionals can't get a bid. Broker-dealers still holding up okay, although they did come down pretty sharply here today. They're still holding trend, though. 480's been good resistance. If it gets through that, it can still go to 490 under energy here. So crude catching a little bit of a pop here again. More cuts, production cuts talk over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Had good volume there. Still neutral on it. It still has to do a lot of work here. There's a lot of shorts in this. Could it bottom early? It's possible, but it's really been in a range since December, really November. You can make a case since September. So nothing really changed there, but it is up 3.2%. So we'll give it that for now. XLE red, so down 0.75%. That still has work to do. Still don't love the weekly. XOP, also an outside day down. If this consolidates up here, though, it can get through that and go to 135. So it's holding up okay. OIH backing off as well. Guess where it stopped? Oh, my weekly level, right? So 292.82. What's the high of the day? 293.81. So right through that and pulling back a little bit. If this consolidates, it can go through that. If you get a weekly close above that, then I think OIH can go higher. That's the level, line in the sand right now. Nat gas pulling back a little bit as well, down 2% on the day. Still just kind of in a holding pattern, and it's consolidating beneath $3. So no issues there. That can still trade down maybe to that 20 moving average, but no real problems right now. Dollar index. So let's get back over here. Dollar index actually getting a little bit of a pop today, up 27 cents. You got to get above this area, 103.54. And really, I mean, this is kind of the bigger, kind of more dominant candle, but 103.37, we're hanging in there right now, 103.35. You get a daily close above that, and we're basically there. You get a daily close above that. That is short-term pretty decently bullish. Let's put it in. So there you go. You get a daily close above that. That negates that red bar inside bar pattern. You still have the weekly though. That's more dominant, and that's going to be at 103.75 spot 6. So you get a weekly close above that. Then guess what? So I told you guys I was neutral to bearish on dollar. We were bullish. Then we flipped kind of neutral to bear. You get a close back above that, I flip back bull. So you guys know. But right now, still I would say more neutral. But that is constructive price action there. For right now, I got some messages about this. Yeah, you could make a case. I don't like doing it right now because it hasn't triggered, but let's go to the euro. There we go. I know you got that kind of fake print there. Let's use 6E. On the futures. All right, hold on. Here we go. Okay. Got some messages about this. Yes, that could be a head and shoulder on the 6E, which is the euro. But it hasn't triggered, right? So we're not even close to this. Now, if you break this neckline, then it can be in play. So we're not going to really entertain it just yet, but something to keep an eye on there. But either way, that's what I wanted to say there about the dollar. Sorry for that took so long. But anyways, let's get over here to gold. Gold holding up. Got a nice pop off of that level this morning. Or off of the, got a pop off 1900 and not getting a bid, but fading a little bit here. So coming back in, you kind of went back into that 1950 area, right? So if you look on a 4 hour, this is where you broke down. You kind of didn't even quite get there really. But gold a little bit on the softer side. I still think it has to head lower here, but it's holding 1900 for now. Silver, on the other hand, is a little interesting to me. This went up into this 2350 area. This is actually a day trade for me earlier. If we go onto the 4 hour here, I did a video on this the other day, so check that out on the Bollinger Bands. But we went up here, pierced that band, and we didn't open up. It's still not open, by the way. This is actually a little bit of a short for me earlier. Got about 12 cents on it, but either way, if this consolidates here, that band can open on the 4 hour. It's just not really doing anything right now. It's still into some resistance. If it gets through that, I can go to 24. But right now, getting a bid, he had nice power, got volume there, so it could still do it. I just not sure here. I still think it wants to make one more push down, but right now it's holding up, and we'll just leave it at that. I don't have any position in it right now either way. But still looking at possible lower levels here. But if it changes, it changes. Platinum trying to hold on to 900. I still think that one has one more little push lower. and then that's into some good support. Palladium still trying to hold on here, but maybe starting to bear flag a little bit on the daily, so I'm avoiding it for now. Copper, a little bit of a reversal there, so tested the 20 MA again, pulled back, but it is off the lows. Not a great pattern here. You guys know I'm still looking for about 340 on spot copper. All right, lastly, let's get over to Bitcoin. So I still like Bitcoin here for a move to 32.5. So really nothing's changed. The only thing I don't like about Bitcoin right now is sentiment's really bullish. Everybody's calling for 100K by the end of the year. I don't like when I see that, but right now there's nothing wrong with the chart. Inside bar, until you close below that, and even if you do, it's not the end of the world. You still have this big power bar here. And then, again, looking on the weekly, that's the monthly, sorry. Weekly, again, big power bar and just an inside candle there. So I still think that wants to have one more push up. And I'm really kind of bullish till 32.5, just so you know. So that's holding up okay, maybe even 33. No problems there. 20 moving average is starting to catch up to price. I don't see any issues there with Bitcoin. It looks good. ETH still giving that the upside bias at 20. We'll just say 2015 for now. So that's holding up as well. All right. Again, lastly over to the spiders. Again, tomorrow wouldn't surprise me to see an inside day. Again, I still think we need to cool off just a little bit. And then maybe they can pump us up on NFP Friday. It wouldn't surprise me either if volume stays really light until next week when, everybody comes back from vacation, if they're not going to do it tomorrow. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow.